radio presenter David Mohammed has launched a three-part CD set entitled Caribbean Studies, which is an audio encyclopedia of the key historic events that took place in the Caribbean over the past 500 years. It's a student's aid for those studying A-level and University Caribbean Studies courses, and also serves as a keepsake for any household. He joins us in studio to tell us more. David, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Good to have you on the program.
Pleasure.
This CD set is supposed to be launched on the 16th, that's next Sunday.
Yeah.
Where's the launch going to take place?
Yeah, it's this Sunday at NALIS, the National Library Centre on Abercrombie Street in Port of Spain from 10 o'clock in the morning.
And is it going to be, following the launch, is it going to be available for sale in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, it will be. Just for the first couple of weeks, it will be available at Metropolitan Bookstore in Port of Spain at the Capital Plaza, and then at some various other locations across the country.
And just so we can understand your credentials for doing a CD set like this, because many people will be familiar with David Mohammed, the national football team manager on a number of occasions. David Mohammed, the host of the Black Agenda on a number of stations since 2002. But give us your background to be able to present such a CD set with some authority.
Well, I hold a teacher's diploma from Valsine Teachers College, now UTT. I hold a double major bachelor degree in sociology and education at the University of the West Indies. I'm a PhD candidate in sociology, about to submit a thesis, and I'm also a Caribbean Studies lecturer, as well as a lecturer in sociology and psychology at the Cipriani College of Labour and Corporate Studies, and was a part-time tutor in anthropology at the University of the West Indies. I've also traveled extensively throughout the Caribbean region and have collected firsthand data and information that is relevant to our modern contemporary Caribbean societies.
And with all that background, one of the issues that I think we should clarify as well is that this project, this CD set, is not at this point endorsed or authorized or approved by the Ministry of Education. What does that mean as far as parents might be saying, well, does this fit in line with the curriculum of Caribbean Studies?
Yes. Well, of course, it's yet to be released on Sunday, but the content covers the general syllabus / curriculum of, first of all, the A-level Caribbean Studies courses, the CAPE, as well as the University of the West Indies Caribbean Civilization Foundation course, and also the Caribbean Studies courses of UTT and Cipriani College, but in particular also the Caribbean Sociology, because of the 3 volumes. Volume 1 is Caribbean History, Volume 2 is Caribbean Sociology, and Volume 3 is excerpts from lectures that I would have done in 8 different Caribbean nations, from, of course, Guyana, Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Antigua, etc.
There's been a concern over many years in Trinidad and Tobago about the way we study anything.
Yes.
We spend a lot of time studying European history, and very little time understanding our own history. Is this your attempt to rewrite history in some way?
Well, not necessarily rewrite, but most certainly represent, because Caribbean history and our educational system in general has always been plagued with ideas of ethnocentrism, Eurocentrism, and white supremacy in general. From the whole genesis of Columbus's arrival here, there have been several lies and untruths that have been documented and archived within our learning system. I mean, if you go back to the 1880s, for example, when there was something called the Keegan Report to establish an educational system in Trinidad, they came up with 2 main reasons why there must be a school system, which eventually was the ward school system here, which was, 1, to get the population to speak English instead of French, and secondly, to Christianize the African population. And so schools were established with that major objective, and in addition to that, you had a social stratification system that was largely based on skin color prejudices and preferences. And the education that was targeted for the African population at that time, throughout all the major Caribbean societies, was designed to maintain a status quo. And so within the last 3 or 4 decades in particular, you have had many Caribbean revolutionary thinkers and philosophers who have presented a new perspective on Caribbean history. I mean, by the fact, for example, that on our coat of arms, you have the 3 Columbus ships, Nina, Pinta, Santa Maria, you have Columbus's steering wheel, etc. That within itself are symbols of genocide and mass murder of the original Amerindian peoples who were here. To have Columbus's ships on our coat of arms is like the United States of America having Osama bin Laden on their government seal. The whole distortion of truths about the Caribs being cannibals, about the Arawaks being uncivilized. These are peoples, these are civilizations, these are cultures and communities that had a tremendously high degree of culture and civilization, and they had their own religion, belief systems, their own style of architecture, etc. I mean, going back to 7,000 years in Trinidad, but they've all been lumped under a Eurocentric understanding of what took place in the Caribbean. So it is necessary that we present Caribbean studies in a way that is relevant to us and also in a manner that can empower Caribbean students.
How would you respond to the parent